Hi, I'm Nick. I'm the lone Surrey Hill smoker. Yeah, I'm all on my own. Gavin's ducked out me this week, but don't worry, that won't stop us bringing you great content. So today we're going to be doing a smoked oriental style duck on my offset smoker, so stay tuned. So, first of all, we need a sharp knife, because what we need to do is score the skin of the duck and do it in a cross pattern, because we want some of that flavour to get into the actual duck itself. It doesn't have to be super close cutting on it, but just enough to score that skin so you can get that flavour through it and into the duck meat itself. Duck is an amazing meat as well. It's so flavoursome. If you get it right, it's beautiful. If you can get it wrong, it can be horrendous. And a lot of people get put off because it's deemed quite a fatty meat, but it actually, if you cook it correctly, it's beautiful. So I've actually already washed and dried these breasts off. So now that we've scored the duck breasts, what we can do now is start making that rub. So it's a pretty easy one, this one. It's a 1/4 cup of brown soft sugar. You can use demerara if you so wish. Same, slightly less, because I don't like too much salt, but similar quantities of just plain salt. So let's get that out. A teaspoon of black pepper, and the same measure of Chinese allspice, and that will give it that distinctive Chinese sort of duck flavour. Just give that a quick mix by hand. Don't have to be too thorough, but just mix it by hand. And there we go. Oh man, that just smells amazing. So what we need to do is we need to brush in some sesame oil. Not too much, just a little drizzle, and then brush it in. Got some on the brush there. It's quite a strong tasting oil, so any spillover, just use it. Then we need to flip it over and do it on the other side as well. So we're doing both sides of the duck. Always have a tea towel or something to hand just to wipe off some of that oil. If your hands aren't getting covered in the oil, then you're not cooking, is my motto. Another great tool, and I must say I've used it for, and Gavin uses them for ribs and everything, one of these rubber, silicone rubber brushes. They're really good for applying marinades, oils, whatever you need to do. So let's sprinkle some of that seasoning on the bottom side, on the meat side. And if you've got some left over, don't worry, because you can always save it in a container. Little containers of things are always good. So that's those sides done. Just even it up, make sure it's nice and even on there. Let's turn these over. Do the same on the top side. That's scored fat. Let's get a nice coating, even coating of the seasoning in there. And there we go. That is the duck prepared. As simple as that. No fuss, no faffing around, just super easy and quick. Right, so we've got the coals in, the pit's up to temperature. We're running at about 200 degrees today, a little bit over. We don't need super heat for this, so what we're going to do is open up the cook chamber and get the duck breasts in. So these have been sitting around. So what we're going to do is we're going to put these in fat side down, because we don't want the fat on the up. We want the meat to get all of the smoke flavour. So we're exposing that. So we're going to put it in the middle of the pit. It doesn't really matter too much because the pit's a fairly consistent temperature, but just make sure it's nice and even in the middle. And what we can do is we had some leftover seasoning. Let's just give it a fresh little sprinkle over the top, just to add a little bit more flavour, because some of that seasoning will have absorbed in. So let's just give it a little hit more, and away we go. So let's shut that down, and we're going to let those sit there for about an hour at this 200 degrees. Let's get them onto the pan. start these searing away. They've got a beautiful smoke colour to them. We'll do the meat first, and then we'll crisp up the fat last, and then I'll be done. Just a side note, this is a cast iron grilling pan. Bear in mind it's directly above the coals. It will be extremely hot, so be very, very careful if you're doing this. Make sure you take adequate protection for your hands. Don't just touch the saucepan, because the whole thing is going to be red hot and it will burn your skin. Let's give them a quick turn. So we put the fat side down. So we can see that fat rendering out of that skin beautifully now. That's going to give us a really crisp, crunchy texture to the outside of these duck breasts. This is smelling amazing. I wish you could smell this. Turn them over and give them a little bit more on the other side, on the meat side. We should be good to go. Of course, that duck fat is now going to cook onto the other side, adding even more flavour into these duck breasts. Guys, I've just taken the pan off, rested it on a trivet. It's still red hot. The duck breasts are still sizzling. Let's get them onto the chopping board and get them carved. Let's get one of these carved up and have a look. Perfection. Beautiful smoke ring. Oh, if you could smell it, it just smells amazing. Yep, that's one well smoked duck breast. So we carved one. Let's carve the second one up. Beautiful. Calves. Knife is like knife through butter, to use that phrase. Perfectly cooked. Beautiful smoke ring. And the juices are just coming out of these like unbelievable. Let's get this plated up. And what I've got here in this green bowl is my own homemade recipe. It's a black cherry, chili, mint and onion salsa. Goes perfectly with duck. Duck's quite, as we say, it's a little bit rich, so this cuts through. The acidity of the lime juice in it really helps. I'll put the recipe down below, but as an accompaniment for this, with a plain salad, absolutely gorgeous. You will be at the talk of the town if you do this for your guests, and it's so easy. So this is such an easy dish to cook. It takes about an hour to smoke it and about 20 minutes to finish it off. All of the other parts can be done while it's smoking, so it's a really quick and easy dish. There's no excuse not to do it, and it is so tasty. You'll have people coming back for more. I've got 2 spare breasts here. I'm sure they won't last long. Anyhow, guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and hopefully next time Gavin won't be skiving off and leaving me on my own to do videos. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you again soon.